Family, it is 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. This is your sister Erika Jefferson Rivers, with your live event for tonight. So, I started to do my Tuesday sister check in messages at my new place of employment last week or the week before last. And as I mentioned before, if you haven't watched the video where I talk about how the Tuesday sister check in started, I will invite you to do that because I won't necessarily rehash that. But it is something that started at my last place of employment that brought me a lot of joy, that brought joy to my coworkers. And I started sharing that with you all and sharing that with the public during the time that I was on my adult gap year. Shout out to the coach who kind of coined that term, whose name eludes me right now. And now that I am back engaged in an employee type of relationship, I've started that again in my new place of employment. And so tonight's chat is going to be around the message that I shared today. And so I did share a message today that had to do with the fact that we're coming to the end of a semester. The students are tired, the professors are tired, the staff is tired, but we all are trying to keep pressing forward. We're all trying to keep moving ahead in order to finish strong. And so I found a quote by an author by the name of Mary Anne Radmacher. Not really certain who Mary Ann is, but the quote says this: as we work to create light for others, we naturally light our own path. As we work to create light for others, we naturally light our own path. Or, I'm sorry, light our own way. And that quote really spoke to me, not just in the way that it's written, but also when I think of it backwards, right? When we work to light our own way, we naturally create light for the way of others as well. Now, I'm really big on making sure that we are really taking care of ourselves, on self care, on rest. And I don't know that I would necessarily, at this point in life, start that quote with lighting the way for others, naturally lighten our way. I do think that we also need to think about how we light our own way as a gift, right? As a gift of light to others as well. So getting rest is not just about and self-care is not just about selfishness, right? In my mind, it is a way for you to also make sure that you are continuing to be a light in this world for others, right? And for me, that's important. It's not just about doing that for yourself. And so I want to share just four quick tips, four thoughts that pertains to lighting a path for others as well as lighting that path for yourself, right? And so I think that my opinion is that you really need to be able to do both. And sometimes that's going to happen simultaneously. Sometimes one is going to come before the other. I am not going to tell you which one is the right way. It really depends on where you are in your life, what your calling is, what you believe to be the best way forward for you. I will say, though, to the extent that you may be lighting your own path without lighting others, or lighting others without paying attention to making sure you have light on your own path, creates an imbalance, right? So, if I have anything to offer, would be for you to make sure that you're keeping that in balance. All right, so let's start. First way to light a path for others and yourself: lead by example. Lead by example. Be the model of what that looks like. And this is really showing others, right, how to navigate challenges and obstacles by modeling the positive behavior, modeling the mindfulness, modeling the joy, modeling smiling, modeling conflict resolution, modeling good relationship building, modeling self care, right? Modeling those things that you want to see others also do to help navigate the challenges. Now, the thing that can be difficult about this is, in order to lead by example, in order to model, it also requires some level of vulnerability, of sharing your own experiences, sharing where you've had challenges and have had to navigate. And it's not so much for others to follow exactly in your footsteps. Sometimes it's just a matter of showing that, hey, you might not see a path here, but I'm going to go first. And maybe you can see where I'm starting to tread a path for you, right? And maybe you don't follow my footsteps exactly, but I want to be an inspiration at the least to show you that it's possible to take this path. Second would be to offer guidance and support. Being willing to lend a helping hand, being willing to be a beacon for others, to extend a hand out, right? And sometimes it's a hand forward, and sometimes it's a hand backwards. Sometimes it's a hand across, right? But being able to lend a helping hand to those who need it is a way to light their path, but also to add light into your own way. And this can be done in so many different ways. You can potentially do it by offering advice. I'm pausing just a little bit. If you're in the role of a coach, then you might not be offering advice. And there's a lot of, or at least I feel like I've learned, because as a coach and in mediation and having a background in conflict resolution and conflict resolution communication, interpersonal communication, there's a lot of, I'm about to use the word advice. I'm trying to find another word. But there is quite a bit of teaching that speaks against giving advice. So you really need to be careful about how you are advising and whether you are advising. What do I mean by that? Particularly if it's a conflict type of situation, a person is not really clear about their own path. Sometimes you can disempower someone by offering advice too quickly, but then you also sometimes can make someone feel that they're not being heard if you refuse to offer some advice. Right? And so it is really kind of one of those things where you have to balance it out again. I'm not going to tell you not to advise, and I'm not going to tell you that you should always advise. You really do need to fill out and see what does the other person really need. Offering guidance and offering that hand can also be sharing your expertise. We've gone through things. You see these gray hairs? Wait, wrong side. They like to gather up in this part. Gray hairs usually mean that you've had some life experiences, even if you even if you developed them earlier. And it's not always an indication, but many of my friends and family members who are in my age group have been through a few things. And we have experiences, and we also have some areas where we do have expertise. We spend some time studying and reading, and it doesn't necessarily mean a degree, but that you've spent some time studying, reading, having some experiences to be able to share. And then lastly, don't ever forget the power of just listening. Sometimes you don't have advice. Sometimes you don't have expertise. Sometimes you don't even have an experience that you can really rely on or fall back on. But just being available to listen, and to listen without judgment, and to listen fully with your whole body, not just your ears, but really listening with your whole body and being attentive to someone can speak volumes, can offer so much light. Okay. All right. So lead by example is first. Two, you have offer guidance and support. The third of four ways to light a path for others and yourself is encourage growth and development. It is okay to encourage others to seek out the growth opportunities, teaching, learning opportunities, even if that looks like reaching out to a counselor, reaching out to a coach, reaching out to others who can help them identify their strengths and identify areas for improvement and give them opportunities to learn and grow. Particularly if you're in a relationship where the person that you love dearly, or even the person that's reaching out to you, just cannot receive that information from you. And I've had situations like that where I may be saying the exact same thing. You probably want to look into A, B, and C, but for whatever reason, it's not being received from me. The best example I can think of is with children. Think about how many times you may have told your kids to do something, right? To look into something that, to be careful about something, and they just won't receive that information from you. But as soon as someone else says it, right? The more cool cousin or the more hip aunt, right? Uh, the younger uncle, because my brothers were younger than me, says the exact same thing, and all of a sudden it clicks as if you had not been saying it all that time, right? And that can feel so infuriating. But one of the best gifts I felt like I did learn to give my children, and I try to do in other relationships that are important to me, is to say, it's okay, make sure you connect with someone that you can receive information from. And it may not be me as much as I might want it to be. Okay. So make sure you're helping others identify, or encouraging that development, connecting others, connecting your loved ones to others who can help them identify their strengths and work on their personal as well as their professional development. All right. And then four, foster a sense of community. Now, I feel like this one is the interesting one, because again, I have been talking a lot over the past year to year and a half about self-care, self-development, and even sometimes needing to do that in isolation. However, I'm also really big on community, because we need this sense of belonging, and it can be hard to acknowledge that we need kind of that balance of space where we're alone, but that we're also connected. And connected in a way, when it talks about community, it's not just being in other people's space or having other people in your space, but it really means this fostered sense of belonging and acceptance. And so I can understand why people isolate. I can understand why there was a period of time where I was isolating. And it wasn't that I didn't necessarily want to be around people. It's just something, you don't want that superficiality to it, right? That we're just getting together because we're family, or we're just getting together because we used to get together, or because someone said we should be together. So it's really fostering a sense of belonging and understanding and love and openness, where people feel valued, where people feel respected, where people feel supported, and that is happening both ways. Right? Not that you're dishing those things out or making that space for others, but that you also are receiving those same benefits of community. So, building strong relationships, fostering that sense of belonging, you not only help others feel connected and empowered to achieve their goals, it also helps you to feel connected and to have that mutual sense of empowerment and encouragement to achieve goals, whether individually or collectively. So light a path for others, light a path for yourself. Figure out the balance to do that simultaneously and in balance. Four ways that you might do that might be to lead by example, being that model, offering your guidance and support by lending a helping hand, encouraging that growth and development to happen, even if it isn't with you, right? Encouraging that those connections happen with other professionals or family members or trusted, let's just say trusted others who can help foster that development and that growth um, personally and professionally for others as well as for yourself. And then, fourth, remembering to foster a sense of community, community in the sense of belonging, community in the sense of love and safety that allows others and yourself to feel connected and to feel empowered to achieve whatever your goals may be, right? Simple enough tonight. I'm smiling. If you didn't catch my message yesterday, it was about smiling and letting the rest and be face go. But then also to be okay when you minding your rest and be face business, to not feel like you're obligated to smile just because somebody tells you to. Smiling really for yourself. And then tonight is really identifying ways to light a path for yourself, to light a path for others. I do want to end again with the quote that I started with by Mary Anne Radmacher. Radmacher. As we work to create light for others, we naturally light our own way. And then I did the Sister Erika remix, which is as we work to light our own way, we naturally create light for others. Go forward, family, and create and be that light in the world that you want to see. In the meantime, please make sure you're subscribing to my YouTube channel, that you hit the like button, that you share, and always feel free to comment or to add something in the chat. I really would love to hear from you. What are the things that you do to light your own path and to light the path for others? Right? Go for it, family. Make it a magnificent week, and I will see you next time. Bye.